Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Kristen, this is my booktube, and today's video was going to be a little book shopping slash yarn shopping haul. I was going to take my gift cards that I got for Christmas and take Friday afternoon and just go and spend those, get some new things, come back here, tell you what I got and why. However, as of right now, Thursday evening on January 22nd. This is our current weather forecast.
By 2 to 3 o'clock, freezing rain will really start to ramp up back over towards Dallas-Fort Worth. Areas along the Red River back towards Lubbock will be dealing with moderate to heavy freezing rain. And then during the overnight hours Saturday into Sunday morning, notice how much heavy freezing rain we are going to have. We will have heavy freezing rain in those purples. It's going to stretch across Dallas-Fort Worth, Lubbock, back towards Memphis.
Yeah, so by the looks of it, I am in for some intense winter weather this weekend. And I'm not gonna lie, I am a little apprehensive about it, mostly because I was living in this exact same area of the DFW area in 2021 when we had our last big freeze, and I lost power for days. They were supposed to do rolling blackouts. I don't remember how many hours, but say it was like 4 hours with the power off and then 1 hour with the power on. And they were supposed to cycle like that. I had 1 hour of power for the entire day. So needless to say, it was not a fun time. So I'm a little scarred from that. So I have been doing a lot of winter weather prep, and as a consequence, I have had to pivot what this week's video is going to be. So you're gonna have to bear with me. We're gonna have to do the little Christmas gift card shopping spree another time. But this week we are going to be doing a nice cozy crochet slash reading vlog because I'm about to be hunkered down for the next 3 to 4 days in my apartment. So I've got nothing better to do this weekend. I have gone out and got some more firewood so that I can burn a fire if it does get to be really cold or if I lose power like I did in 2021. I have plenty of candles. I have a lot of snacks. I have a lot of food that does not need to be cooked. Because that was my big issue during the last freeze, was I had plenty of food, but it all needed to be cooked on a stove or baked or heated up in the microwave or just cooked in some way, shape, or form. So I was really limited on what I was able to eat during the last freeze. So I made sure to get a variety of foods that have little to no actual cook time so that worst case scenario, if I do lose power, I can still eat lunch. You know, I can still have dinner. I can still be a little warm and make a fire. I can still have some light and light some candles. I also woke up this morning to my internet being completely out for the whole day. And when I went to my Spectrum app, Spectrum was blaming it on the winter storm that has not happened yet. So I also already don't have internet. I did have the thought to go out to my public library today and check out a hotspot so that I can still have internet, even if Spectrum just doesn't want to work right now and is blaming it on a storm that isn't even happening right now. At least my library's got me. I went and got this around noon today. I was working from home today and I was using my phone's hotspot for my work computer, but that just like wasn't really cutting it. It was draining my phone battery. My phone was getting overheated. So rather than sit around and see if Spectrum is going to repair my internet service before the storm hits, only for it probably to inevitably go out again, I just decided to go to my library and see if they had a hotspot for me to borrow, and they did. So I am set with internet, which I guess is kind of good because even if the power does go out, I still have the hotspot as well, as long as that signal doesn't give out. But I was very proud of myself for thinking of that so that I can be a little bit more prepared. So now I am ready to really just get settled in and dive into the fun, cozy part of this winter weather that is approaching, doing some crocheting. Now I have plenty of yarn and plenty of projects to be working on, but I have been doing blankets recently and like granny squares, so I'm feeling like I'm missing some amigurumi in my life right now. And I do have this little jackalope pattern that I bought from Red Mills Crochet, which is the same Etsy shop that I got the dragon pattern that I've been using and the reindeer pattern that I made for my Christmas market at work. And I believe this one was like a bundle with the reindeer or something like that, or maybe it was just on on sale and I bought both of them at the same time. But either way, this guy is super cute and I have wanted to make him for a while now. I already have made the eyes. I made some purple glittery eyes specifically for this jackalope. And I did also start on his little feet. So I have technically started this crochet project, but I started it like on Christmas Day and then I just like stuffed it in my project bag and I haven't really touched it since then. So now's the time to continue this project, I feel. So that is going to be the first crochet project of this little winter weather weekend. And as far as reading goes, I am not going to do any reading right now, mostly because I've been reading Wuthering Heights, so I've already invested a couple hours of reading that book earlier today. So I just want to relax, watch some YouTube, and just do some crochet. But we will definitely pick up with the reading tomorrow. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into making this jackalope.
Friends. It is now 7 a.m. on Friday morning. I literally just dragged my butt out of bed and now I'm going to log on to an accepted society study session so that I can read some more Wuthering Heights. I am on chapter 3 of volume 1, so I am barely like 18 pages into this book, but it's going well. It's going slow because I'm taking notes as I'm reading, so that's what's taking the longest time, but once I'm through the book and I have all my notes and everything, it should be pretty smooth sailing from there to actually put together a script for the video that I want to do on Wuthering Heights. So it will be a long, tedious process because I'm basically just doing what I would do if I was writing a research paper about Wuthering Heights. So I'm really falling back on my research and writing skills that I developed in grad school, but this is the only way I know how to do it, so this is the way it's going to be done. It might be over detailed, it might be too long, I might have to cut a lot of stuff out, but at least I will have plenty of information. I would always rather have too much information and need to cut down than have not enough and feel like I'm missing things. But yeah, so I've got my tabs, I've got my highlighters, I've got my pen. Now I just need to log on to the Zoom session so that I can get started with reading. Got my fireplace cleaned off and ready to go. Don't worry, I will move this heater if I decide to light a fire. Then I also brought out some of my candles just to have out
in case the power goes out. If you can't tell, I'm a little traumatized from the last time that we had a really bad winter storm in 2021, because when that happened during the rolling blackouts, it got to the point where my thermostat in my old apartment stopped reading the temperature because it got too cold. I believe it stopped reading around 45 degrees. So that gives you an idea of how cold it was in my apartment. I ended up having to leave my apartment and go to my friend's house, who was on a hospital grid and did not lose power, but she was put under a boil water notice. So I also am replacing the filter in my Brita right now so that I can make sure that I have plenty of drinking water. I have some empty gallon jugs that I'm going to be filling with drinking water, just so I have all of my bases covered, and hopefully I'm not in the same situation that I was in 2021. One fun part about the aesthetic of my apartment is that if the power does go out, I have this candelabra so that I can be super dramatic and carry around this candelabra like a Victorian woman who is being haunted by her former lover's ghost in her own home. So at least I've got that to look forward to if it does come to it. These are also Halloween candles that have red wax in the middle. So when you burn them, they look like they're bleeding. But honestly, that only adds to the vibe of the Victorian woman being haunted by her former lover's ghost. So I'm kind of into it, honestly. As for a general update, I'm about to make some lunch. I think I'm gonna do a comfort meal of like mac and cheese because I have a couple boxes of mac and cheese just lying around, and I'm trying to save the ready to eat food that doesn't really need cooking in case the power goes out. So I'm thinking mac and cheese is a good option for this late lunch, early dinner. It is, I almost looked at my watch, but my watch is charging right now, so I don't have my watch on. But it's around 3 o'clock right now, so it's a little late for lunch specifically, but we'll call this like a dinner, maybe. I've been running around in a tizzy since I got off of work, trying to make sure that I have everything set to go when the freezing rain hits later this afternoon/evening. And so far, I think we're good. I think I have everything that I would potentially need. So hopefully most of the stuff that I have prepared does not come in handy and I don't lose power or anything crazy like that. Hopefully it's just a nice cozy weekend where I just get to be inside and chill. But nonetheless, I need to be prepared in case it's not very chill. I'm gonna make some lunch. I need to do my dishes. I also need to wash out my Brita, replace the filter, all of that stuff, so that I can have plenty of drinking water. But yeah, that's the plan for the afternoon. For a little crochet update, I did get this far in making the little jackalope that I started last night. So I'm pretty much done with the body. I have to sew this together, but I didn't have enough stuffing to fully stuff the body near me. I have more stuffing. It was just across the room and I was being lazy. So I just put a little bit of stuffing in there just to give it some shape. And then I called it a night on this one. We'll probably be picking this up later this evening when I'm done getting everything set and ready to go for the storm. And I'm ready to just hunker down on the couch for the evening. But yeah, with all that being said, I should probably get up and get back to work. My liner is not going to cook itself and my stuff is not going to organize itself either. So let's go ahead and get back to it. Looking crazy this morning. Alrighty friends, good morning. Please ignore the crazy state of my hair. I tried to put it in curlers so that it would look semi-normal, but I also went to bed with it wet so it didn't quite dry, and then the parts that did dry look a little weird, so you'll just have to pardon. I will fix my hair later once the rest of it dries and I can actually do something to it. But I wanted to go ahead and check in before I get started with the day. It is about 6:45 on Saturday right now. We have gotten a bit of frost overnight, and it is about 29 degrees according to my weather app, but nothing too crazy so far. Obviously, I still have power, so that's good. I'm happy with that, and hopefully it stays that way. So last night, I continued working on the little antelope that I started earlier. I finished stuffing his little body and sewing up the belly and the top part. So the body is pretty much done now, and this is how far I got on the head. This is going to be the nose. It's turning out a little cone shaped right now, but I'm just gonna trust the process and hope that it gets better as I go along. And also he's gonna have like big ears coming off of his head too, so I feel like that's gonna also balance out like the pointiness of the head. I don't know, we'll see. This is just my first go. It's not like for anyone, I'm just trying out the pattern. So if the head ends up looking wonky, I can try to make it better the next time that I do it. But I did follow the pattern. I have the right amount of stitches, I have the right amount of rows, so I'm hoping that it will come together and look semi-normal once I'm done with it. But as of right now, it's looking a little cone shaped to me. Not sure how I feel about that, but we'll trust the process and keep going on that later today. And then as far as my reading update goes, I did start a new book. I started Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. That is my book club pick for this month, and our book club meeting is on Wednesday. So really needed to start that book and start making progress in it. I wanted to read Catabasis because I did have it from my library, and it is one of those like skip the line 7-day loans that is expiring today. So I did want to read that, but I really needed to read Not Quite Dead Yet, or at least start it since the book club meeting is coming up soon. So worst case scenario, I'll just have to finish it on Spotify with my audiobook credit hours in the future. But yeah, so I got about 2 hours into Not Quite Dead Yet, and it is an interesting book so far. I was thinking it was going to be a little too dark because the premise of the book is that the main character, Jet, is attacked during a home invasion, and she is hit in the back of the head 3 times, which not only causes her to pass out and lose a bunch of blood, but it like creates this bone shard that is like pressing on a vein, a very important vein in her brain, that will cause an aneurysm within 7 days and she will die, is what the prognosis is. So I thought it was going to be really dark because of that, but the main character, Jet, has a good sense of humor and is also using this as like a motivating force to solve her own murder. So it's a very interesting premise for a book, and it was the Goodreads thriller favorite in 2025. So I do think it's going to be not as dark as I thought it was going to be. Just for me personally, aneurysms just scare the crap out of me. So I think I was just projecting my own personal fears onto this book, but so far it's pretty good. There hasn't really been any big breakthrough in her investigation so far. I mean, obviously I just got through the whole like setup of the book, and I'm just now getting into the actual meat of the story where she's doing her whole little investigating thing. So yeah, pretty good so far, and we'll see. Maybe I'll finish that over this weekend while I am snowed in. Snowed in, like Texas's version of snowed in. But in any case, I do have to finish it before Wednesday because that is when my meeting is, and that is also when the book is due back to my library. So we got to make some progress on that this weekend. Then I did also make some more progress in my reread of Wuthering Heights. You would have seen in one of the clips I put in earlier that I have like a whole little setup at my desk with like a little stand for the book so that I can type quotes from the book without like struggling to hold it open or anything like that. So it's very much a slow reading process just because I am trying to be thorough in my note taking and things like that as I am reading. So I'm only on chapter 4 of the book, but that is the reason why I am up early today. I have woken up at this ungodly hour on a Saturday so that I can continue doing some more reading of Wuthering Heights, because if I want to get my TLDR video out around when the movie comes out, I gotta start making more progress. And what better time than a snow day to do so? So yeah, that is pretty much my only plan for the day so far, is sitting and reading Wuthering Heights for the next couple hours at my computer. I'll probably switch to other things later in the day, but as of right now, that is my plan. So I will have to update you when I decide to do something else. But for now, let's go ahead and get started with reading and taking notes on Wuthering Heights. Alright, good morning everyone. Today is Sunday, January 25th. It is 15 degrees outside, so it is quite chilly indeed. And it is about 7:45 right now. I've been up for probably about an hour or so. I woke up around 6:30, but I've just been laying in my nice cozy bed, avoiding getting up for the day. So yeah, as you would have seen yesterday, I did continue reading Wuthering Heights. I am now about halfway through chapter 7 of volume 1, I'm pretty sure. Around like 55-ish pages into the book, and I am enjoying it so far. It is just slow going because I am taking notes and writing down quotes and things as I am reading, so that is slowing me down quite a bit. But I kind of like taking my time with the book and really like digesting all of the plot points, because there are a lot of things, especially at the beginning of Wuthering Heights, that I don't remember very well or didn't really catch the first time, probably because I was just listening while I was doing other things. And especially with classics like that one that don't exactly use the same vernacular that we use today, that can lead to me easily missing things. So I am really enjoying doing a bit more of a close reading of this book, and I am taking a copious amount of notes, so I should be able to put together a pretty detailed script for my TLDR video about Wuthering Heights. Then after I was done reading for the day, I really wanted to make some cinnamon rolls because I had seen a girl I follow online post about making cinnamon rolls in the cold weather, and they just looked so good, and I already had everything I needed to make them in my house, so that was just like a sign to me that I need to make some cinnamon rolls. So I did. And then I ate one of the smaller cinnamon rolls and I fell asleep on my couch around like 9 or 10 o'clock. So yeah, that's pretty much all I did yesterday. I did not do any crocheting, and I have not finished any books, so this isn't the most productive crochet/reading vlog in the world, but hey, I did say it was gonna be cozy, and to me, cozy means like, yes, warm, but also like stress-free and relaxing. So I'm not gonna beat myself up too hard over not finishing either of those things in this vlog. I do apologize for not finishing any of my tasks in this vlog, but I was mostly just trying to stay warm and stay sane during this snowstorm. So yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and end this reading vlog here just because I need to upload today. So that means that I gotta get to editing this video. But thank you guys so much for joining me on this cozy weekend reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and leave a like down below. Let me know. I will probably be continuing this cozy reading vlog at least throughout the first part of next week because it is supposed to be very cold over the next few days, and I've already been told to work from home tomorrow on Monday. So I will not be going anywhere. I will just be doing the same things that I've already been doing this weekend. So yeah, I think we're just gonna continue with like a part 2 of this cozy reading vlog for next week. And hopefully I will be able to finish some books and some crochet in next week's vlog. Well, I kind of have to because I do have a book club meeting on Wednesday. So I do have to finish at least one book by Wednesday. It won't be Wuthering Heights, but it will be Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson because that is our book club pick and I have to lead the meeting. So I gotta finish the book. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. Sorry that it's like impromptu from bed, but I'm nice and cozy and my living room is very cold right now. So I'm gonna stay in my nice, cozy, warm room to do this outro. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're staying nice and warm if you are also in the path of this winter storm. I hope you were able to do some nice, cozy, relaxing hobbies as well. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!